Let's move into the last topic when we talk about the Phoenix Suns and can they possibly make the playoffs. I know it's a little bit ridiculous, but after their season opener winning 121-100 and having a phenomenal performance from Devin Booker, from their rookie DeAndre Ayton, getting 23 from Trevor Ariza, and having their new coach in Igor, and having some veteran leadership like Tyson Chandler and Jamal Crawford, who they just signed, can this team possibly put enough wins together to push towards maybe the 8th spot, maybe even the 10th spot, which would be a huge jump from the bottom of the league? Dave, what are your thoughts?
I think it's going to be a huge ask for them to do that, but looking at that team last night, I was thoroughly impressed. Like, it wasn't last night, but whatever, 2 nights ago. Thoroughly impressed. Like, what they had out there was actually really interesting because DeAndre Ayton played better than I expected. Trevor Ariza apparently was like close to a triple-double. 21, 8, and 7. He was a little bit everywhere, and it was like a quiet score too. It was like it just kind of tallied up. Like he hit a couple in a row, and then it was like, oh, okay, Trevor's back in. He hits a shot, cool. I think this team actually has a really good balance, except for the fact they don't have a point guard.
Yes.
Like minus that, wow.
But here's the thing: Devin Booker's a fantastic passer. Josh Jackson's a fantastic passer. Ayton was a great passer. Ariza's a good passer. Crawford, once he finally gets into game shape, he's a good passer. And you even look at Mikal Bridges, who didn't play, is a good passer.
Yeah, he technically was entered into the game.
Okay. In true minutes, he didn't actually play. And even Okubo didn't get much playing time as well. And, while they don't have a true number one, a point guard they can go to, Booker has played the one at points, and he has the ability to pass. I mean, you don't have like a guy who's going to be a Chris Paul, a floor general out there, but they have the ability to move the ball around, and that's what I was massively impressed by.
Yeah.
And here's the one thing before I go to Ricky. This is statistically one of, if not their best games since Steve Nash left. Like, they were tied for most threes in franchise history with 19. They had 35 assists in a game, which is tied for the most since Steve Nash left. They had the 9th best three-point percentage since Steve Nash left at 55.9%, which isn't going to be high, but also if they come down 10%, 45 as a team is insane.
Yeah.
8 times since 1990, and this is a different one, but 8 times since 1990, there's been a game where they've shot 50% from 3, had 30-plus assists, and taken over 33s in that game. This was the 8th time in their franchise history since 1990 where they've done that. I mean, it was incredible what they did last night. And we look at DeAndre Ayton. He was phenomenal. Booker took over the game. You have a leader in Devin Booker who take over games. You have a guy down low who can be fantastic. I think this team could possibly get 30 wins, and I don't really feel crazy saying it. 30 wins isn't crazy, and it's crazy for them after winning, 17 games last year? But
21.
So 30 games isn't crazy.
I'm
possibly even 35.
I think, they're in that 30 to 35 range.
They could be similar to Los Angeles last year.
You're taking the word. I don't even have to talk. Sean's in my head right now. And as I was looking at the standings from last year, I'm looking at it and I go, you know what? They're not a Clipper Nugget range from last year. They're not going to be that 42, 46. But this is a team to me I think misses the playoffs. They're at 35 wins. Like, Trevor Ariza is the main thing. I know it's only one game, but this is what we expected. Veteran leadership, and maybe not 21 points, but
21, 8, and 7.
I expected him to be a positive to this team. And maybe he overplayed it a little bit in game one. We don't know. We got to see more games. But, I mean, this Suns team, I think, is going to be... It's going to be one of those seasons for the Suns where it's like they're a fun team to watch.
They are.
You're actually enjoying that. It's kind of like I'll relate it to I don't even know if I had fun a lot talking or watching the Bulls last year because we were in tank mode for some of it. But it's going to be that season where you don't have any expectations. You're having fun watching this team. And then next year, after you have another free agency year with Coach Igor, then you're starting to think, all right, can we make a run for that 8 seed? Can we seriously think about that as a fan base?
And here's the thing, too, with Phoenix, is if they are going to make the playoffs, they're not going to be like Los Angeles in the sense where they can go out and get big names.
Yeah.
They're going to have to be like Denver. And when we look at Denver, what's a big thing that they have is they have Jamal Murray, who they drafted, Jokic, who they drafted, I think Barton, who they drafted, Gary Harris, who they drafted. We look at the homegrown talent that they have. Devin Booker was drafted and it's been phenomenal, and I think he already signed his extension.
He's already signed his extension, yes.
DeAndre Ayton, who was their number 1 pick this year. We look at Mikal Bridges, Josh Jackson,
TJ Warren.
TJ Warren. I mean, they have the ability to get players in there and have bodies. TJ Warren as well was shooting threes and knocking them down.
What the hell was up with that? Sean, you didn't tell me your boy could shoot threes.
He can't.
He's a splash pro.
He can't, and that's the thing is I don't want to jinx him because if he can shoot threes, then good for him. And he's going to make his value even more important. He's going to be more than just a six man who's a guy who's a bench scorer leading the second unit. I'm massively impressed with this team. And the point that I was getting to with they have to be like Denver, so far they're in a really great place to take that step because they already have that homegrown talent. Yeah. And Jokic, Ayton's going to develop quicker than Jokic is because Jokic had to develop his shot. Jokic also wasn't the physical monster that Ayton was. Yep. So and Jokic so far has been phenomenal. He's developed his game and he's so savvy. But Ayton has that ability to take over games now as a rookie. Devin Booker has more potential to take over a game. He already showed it than Jamal Murray does. We saw last year putting up 25 points. I think he was the guy who was 25-5, 25-5-5. Victor Oladipo was 23-5. That's what I keep messing him up with during the NBA fantasy draft.
Booker, honestly, I thought Ayton out the gates, if they kept feeding him, like he wasn't missing. Like he could have put up like 25, 27 range. It was disgusting.
And thank you for bringing that up because when I have two notes, but here's the thing: DeAndre Ayton had 18 points, 10 boards, 6 assists. Insane. I was looking up on Basketball Reference guys who had that in the first month of their rookie season. 3 guys. DeAndre Ayton was one of them, and I looked up 18 plus points, 10 plus rebounds, and 6 plus assists. You want to guess the other 2? This was since 1983. That had 18, 10,
so
and
Magic
6.
Johnson
in their first game.
No,
really?
in their first month as a rookie, because I couldn't do first game. So
was
this
one
is
of
just
them Michael?
October. Nope.
Are they? Am I gonna know who they are?
Yes,
or are they
100%.
Like...
You're gonna know. These aren't like weird like. It's not like Keith Traylor or Robert Traylor.
Are they all? Can I get
both of them
years? Are current?
Current.
Okay.
LeBron James.
He did it as an 18-year-old against Phoenix. He had 41 minutes, 8 of 17, 47 from the field, 1 of 5 from the field. He had 12 total rebounds, 8 assists, and 21 points.
KD?
Nope.
Not James Harden. James Harden wasn't what he was now.
Think Jake's year-anniversary.
Ben Simmons.
No. Think Jake's year-anniversary, Dave. Who did he trash on?
Lonzo.
No. What did Lonzo do? He went against Phoenix, dropped 29, had 9 assists, and 11 boards.
Game.
But here's the thing. So first off, all of those games with all of those guys, all involved Phoenix.
Yep.
8 plays for Phoenix, and the other 2 were against Phoenix.
They're just finally on the good side this time.
They got sunsed.
Ayton had the least amount of field goals attempted and still put up 18 points.
Yep.
He had the least amount of minutes. He had 36. Ball had 37. LeBron had 41. He had the highest game score out of them. This was in his first game. Lonzo's was his third. LeBron's was on Halloween, I believe. So it was like the 30th. He's the only player with a block. They both had a steal, but Ayton had a block. LeBron turned it over 7 times. Lonzo turned it over 4. Ayton didn't have a turnover. Ayton was fantastic.
He was
72%. Clean. He was perfect from the line. This is something that he can keep up, too. I didn't look at this and was like, oh, he's overachieving. We talked about this rookie of the year. You picked him for rookie of the year.
I didn't expect to have him pass out of the low post as well as he does.
No, but 18 and 10 is something that we totally predicted for him.
Called that.
So I think that, with the way that they pass the ball, him passing like that, he might not do 6 assists every night.
This is what we're seeing out of Igor, is this team moves the ball around, and I love it. And I think that it's their biggest bonus because they don't have a true point guard, but they've got so many willing passers, and they keep moving off ball. Like this is awesome. As a fan of Phoenix, like you have to be thrilled. I love to have Z on like next week. Well, if they're still successful, keep talking about it.
And the thing I think of is you mentioned Denver with how they should build. I am going to go to the gold standard because it's kind of almost the same thing. Think of the Warriors before what we know them as right now. Well, even before Steph and that. If you were going to mention the Warriors, a big free agent was like, I ain't going to Golden State. Why would I want to go play for the Warriors for? They're not a good team. It's not somewhere that I want to go.
was their biggest free agent signing in my life.
But
outside of KD.
Jackson?
What they're going to have to do, the Suns that is maybe do that as well, where you're already drafting. You got Dev Book, who's going to be like your Steph Curry. You've got now DeAndre Ayton, who's going to be a staple of this team. But the free agents that you add, Trevor Ariza is one of them. He's like their Andre Iguodala, that guy where it's like he can contribute,
It's a good comparison.
but he's not that like big marquee free agents. Maybe he's a guy that, and not Ariza is this. Maybe Iguodala is more of this, where it's like, hey, you know what? He can contribute. He's got something to prove because other teams maybe didn't want him as much, and they can get guys that can add to the team in that sense as veteran presences.
Steven Jackson was acquired by Golden State via a trade. And Al Harrington was too. So never mind. He was actually in the Steven Jackson trade.
Hey.
It was Steven Jackson, Al
Whole range of
Harrington,
emotions from me.
Sarunas Javakinis, and Josh Powell for Troy Murphy, Mike Dunleavy, Iku Digu, and Keith McLeod. So there you go.
What a great.
And then he was later traded from the Knicks to the Hornets, to the Warriors for Jamal Crawford. But I think that the building pieces are there, and again, playoffs is something that is a little bit clickbaity.
That's a lofty thing, but their wing depth is incredible.
And look at their
they did all this
defense
without playing Mikal Bridges, pretty much.
Yeah, and look at their defense too. Like Booker wasn't, Booker's not a phenomenal defender, but also you look at him in the fourth quarter, and I know he's going up against young players and Dennis Smith Jr. and Luka Doncic.
They literally couldn't shoot. Like I felt bad for Dallas. And I know somebody was like, "Well, look at every team that went to China and look how bad they shoot in the first game back."
Yeah, well,
the last 2 years, they shoot like 28% or something. It's terrible.
They're also not an offensive powerhouse.
True, they're missing Harrison Barnes.
They're very young, missing Harrison Barnes, missing Dirk as well. This is the first time you're playing with
power forward right there.
Yeah, this is the first time you're playing with Dennis Smith Jr. and Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic is his first regular season game. It's the first time they're playing together in games, and also DeAndre Jordan getting used to the Rick Carlisle system. So I mean, it's not crazy that they stomped the Mavericks, but also I don't think this is something that they cannot replicate because if they go up against Golden State, they're probably gonna get stomped.
But they've got the Nuggets next up. That game's gonna be like 140, 138.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is I don't think
nobody questions the numbers.
No, I don't think Phoenix is going to be that bad defensively, because again, Trevor Ariza is fantastic. Josh Jackson's one of the best on-ball defenders, like young on-ball defenders,
pretty good.
In the league. Ayton is a pretty damn good defender right now, at least for a rim protector. Like I think that we overstated his things because when guys are coming out, we have to nitpick.
When we overanalyze for 6 months on your thing, like it sort of gets overblown.
He's not as bad as Bagley was coming out. Bagley was bad. Ayton was fine. He just was abused at sometimes. But also we were talking about him not caring. It seems like he cares right now.
The weird thing was, I don't know if you guys were like listening in as well when you're watching the game, like. They were talking about how in college he got the gold jersey. Basically, it was like a weekly award for most effort, like hardest worker on the team. He got that every week he was there.
Yeah.
Every single week. Nobody even else sniffed it. And that's so weird to hear on the outside because the narrative from the media was always, look, he's so like nonchalant about this. He doesn't try very hard against bad teams. This is why Arizona can't win games.
Well, no, it was
effort's not there.
And for me, it was always. I never saw it as like, oh, he's not a hard worker. It was just he's bored. He's bored out there where it's like, it would be like if you told LeBron James, hey, go play a year of college before you can come play in the NBA. Like LeBron would probably be, he probably wouldn't because LeBron's got like a certain drive.
He did commit to Ohio State. I just found that out last week or something.
But I mean, there is DeAndre Ayton was just like, why am I, it kind of looked like, why am I doing this half the time? Like, I'm just going to dominate these kids.
It's been one game, so we were over-analyzing, but I didn't see that out of him in this game. And he was going up against DeAndre Jordan, who I know isn't really stretching the floor or anything like that, but he is a guy that has been in the league for a long time, and he didn't look like he was being beat up down there. I just think that Phoenix is a team that maybe they do sneak up on people because they have a guy who could take over and score points. Devin Booker is a number one scorer on a team. Even if he's not even if he's not a top 20 player in the NBA right now, even if he's not a top 5 shooting guard like we didn't have him, it doesn't mean he's not a fantastic scorer.
Yeah.
We just were saying you were putting up garbage numbers on a bad team. You just put up great numbers on a team that just blew the doors off the Mavericks and did it in a very team-oriented way.
Yeah.
And you took over that game, and it wasn't something where he was chucking up major shots. He hit every shot he had to. And when
he was feeling it and making the right decisions off the pick and rolls, the pick and pops. He knew when to roll with the ball, and that's the thing, is like he felt the flow of the game, and that's something you want to see out of your star.
Well, and he came in, he put up points before, came out, then came back in at 8:44. 8:44 of the fourth. You look at what he did after that, 12 points, 2 assists, 1 board, 3 of 4 from the free throw line. He was 4 for 4 from the field, 3 for 3 from three-point line. He had 1 bad play. One bad play that I could count, it was a bad pass, it was a turnover. Other than that, he was phenomenal in the closing 8 minutes of that game. That's something that you need to be a team that's going to win games consistently. And you look at Denver last year, Jokic really didn't step up until Millsap went down, and he felt like he could take over that team. When you look at Los Angeles, who was the guy taking over games for them? Lou Will, who I love Lou Will. He's a fun player to watch, but Devin Booker is a guy that has that next level scoring ability. And we look at now DeAndre Ayton. We look at Trevor Ariza. We look at Tyson Chandler. We look at Jamal Crawford. They have veteran presence. They have that great youth balance, and their youth isn't even playing right now. And we look at what Igor's done with Utah and what Utah did last year.
Yeah,
Phoenix could be a shocking team, and maybe it's not postseason because again, you just beat up on the Mavericks, and the Mavericks aren't going to be a great team this year.
Well,
but I think this is a team that could surprise people in some games. Maybe not Golden State, but hey, maybe we go up against the Nuggets and we win.
Well, that's the thing. Late in the year, I think this is a team that can really ruin some playoff chances. Like, I think that they're a team late in the year who's still going to be fighting because they're going to be out of the bottom two in the West. So that means, hey, guess what? We don't have to worry about our placing. Just go out there and try to win games and continue to grow this talent because I like everything I see. I hope that, I went in this year and I honestly had a feeling, I was like, Trevor Ariza is just going to play out, a couple months and then be traded. Like, I look at game one and I'm overreacting. I don't care. I'm like, that's why you brought him here to be a veteran on the team who's won a ring, who's been there, who's done that. And watching their wing depth, I'm like, Jesus, this is awesome. Like, I want him on this team. I want him to grow. I want him to help this team grow. I want him to be a mentor to guys like Josh Jackson and Bridges and TJ Warren. It's changed my opinion after one game. I'm gonna make I hope this is a spicy prediction. All right.
The Suns at the end of the year will affect the Utah Jazz's playoff seeding. Because the reason why, think about what Dave just said. Suns could be a team that affects some teams with their playoffs. Like, if we wouldn't have lost that game, maybe we would have been a higher seed. Since March 13th, they will play the Jazz 3 times. Ooh. I think they will go 2-1 against the Jazz in that spread, and the Jazz might drop from would have been 3. Now they're 6 or 7 in the playoff seedings because of it.
2 of them are in Phoenix, and the one big thing too is that first one on March 13th. They play against Golden State the game before.
Well, they got 2 games 2 days off in between.
They got 2 games off. They got the Monday and Tuesday off, which is going to be huge. Then they go to Houston, and then they go to New Orleans, which is going to be, it's a horrible.
It's a tough match.
It's a horrible 5-game stretch because they got Portland game before.
And then you got
Golden
the Bulls,
State.
Detroit, and Sacramento.
Yeah, then you have a huge break. Even Washington and Memphis as well, and Cleveland. So you have another 5-game break. Then you go. You have a 3-game break. Then you play Utah. At Utah, but then you have another break of Washington, Memphis, and Cleveland. All of those are at home. Then you have a day off on Tuesday after that Cleveland game. You're playing Utah. I think that's a pretty fair thing to throw out there. And even especially with Igor's connection,
I like it.
They could probably screw up, and maybe they take 2 of those 3 games, and that, like you said,
and I know
that could screw them up.
Maybe it's me overreacting to the Jazz's first game, but after watching that Jazz first game, I was like, I know you got the win, but it's I felt like the Jazz would be a little bit more dominant, especially against the Kings team, first game of the year.
But right now, they're up 11 against Golden State. Yeah. So, anything could change again. You can't overreact to
Golden
everything.
State, though, is the team where it's TNT, the guys on TNT put it perfectly. Are they going to be bored that night? Because if they're bored that night, then you can upset them and get the win.
KD's already got 26 points. He's shooting lights out 10-14 at this point.
Well, they put up 81 points in the first half.
Okay.
Utah did.
I'm just saying, Joe Ingles is, again, killing it, because that's all Joe Ingles does.
Jesus Christ.
The man's 5 of 6 from 3.
We'll see what happens with the Golden
Top
State
10
game.
Small forward.
If Golden State loses, are they in trouble? Let's just fucking keep overreacting everything.
Grayson Allen's not going to play a minute for Utah for the first month of this year.
And you picked him as a sleeper, didn't you?
I did. Apparently, Coach Psychopath doesn't like his effort on defense.
Coach Psychopath.
Jingles is 5 of 6.
Like I said, he is fire.
Holy shit! Rubio's already got 10 assists too.
No, this is a good game. Double-double. I wish we could watch, but instead we're talking about
the Suns.
Any final thoughts on the Suns? Because
I think they're going to be a better team, probably where LA was last year, and then next year, depending on their free agency, we'll be talking playoffs, maybe 8 seed next year.
A lot of moving pieces, could have some money to throw around. I think.
What's the thing they missed then? At least what's the next thing they need? Is it just a point guard?
It's a point guard. That's what I'm wondering if they trade I don't know, because I look at Terry Rozier and I go, Is that a guy who is going to be on the market?
All right, here. Come December, they are because Terry Rozier did not reach an agreement with the Celtics before the deadline. Come December, Suns are in eighth place in the playoffs.
Whoa.
Do they trade for? I mean, it's what, like 20 games?
Yeah.
They're in the hunt at least.
Yep.
They're 10-7 in the playoff standing. Do they go out and trade for a point guard? Do they need to?
No.
Do they feel pressured to?
No.
If they keep passing like this, no. But I think that the big question for me is what's the price? Because you don't trade with Danny Ainge.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Well, no,
trades with
just a
you.
point guard in general. Not even Rozier.
Yeah.
Not even Rozier. Do you think they need to?
Let's see what we see out of Okubo. Let's see what we see out of Melton. I'm not sold yet. I would almost lean yes. If you're rolling and you're winning games, I might be interested. As long as I don't have to give up my pick this year, I'm interested.
If the passing keeps up, I don't think you need to trade for a point guard. I think they make a move. And I think that move is more defense. Because right now you have go-to scorers. You have T.J. Warren off the bench. You have Devin Booker. You have the ability of Ayton if he's balling out.
Yeah.
Trevor Ariza just gave you 23. Jamal Crawford.
21, yeah.
Yeah, 21. Jamal Crawford can be a go-to scorer when he's on. You have the scoring. I think you just need more defense, and that's at the guard position. So maybe they do go trade for a point guard. Maybe they just go for a guy who can play defense. Maybe like an Avery Bradley is available because he can pass the ball. He can move it around. He could shoot from the outside. So I mean, he's not.
He's a combo. That's why I'm like, I still see him as a 2 more, but
No, he's a 2 still, but he can pass. Is what I'm saying. Like, he's not gonna slow down that offense.
It would be interesting. I know we looked at that basically the whole Clippers backcourt as potential trade bait. So we'll have to see what they're doing.
Do they go Milos? What was the team we were pushing? Oh, the Spurs.
It was, yeah.
We're just pushing the Spurs for Milos, but we'll see what happens. Any final thoughts on the Phoenix Suns?
I think the point guard that they will add will be either Darius Garland or Trey Jones. I'm probably going to call Trey Jones to the Suns in the draft. That's the point guard they're going to get.
He's going draft.
Oh, draft.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're going to get that point
like,
guard
who the
in
fuck
the
is
draft
Darius
in 2019.
Garland?
He's at
No, I know
Vanderbilt,
he's at Vanderbilt, but at first, Trey Jones is at Duke. I was just like, but I thought you were talking about current players. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I'm in draft mode already. Can't wait. Season's going to start for college in about a month, and that's where the Suns are going to go.
Let's see how close we are, like we were last time.
Yeah.
We were real good. Our Mach 1.0.
I started listening to Ryan Russillo's podcast, and he does a thing at the end
He's
of
a
his
smart guy.
where it's Chris Fowler trivia, where he throws out a trivia question and he answers it before he finishes the question. Now I will just throw out trivia to you guys. All right. I looked up the Los Angeles Lakers franchise index, and they got the top all-time 12 players that are aligned by win share. Here number 1's Kobe, number 2 is Jerry West, 3 is Kareem, 4 is Magic Johnson, 5 is George Mikan, 6 is Elgin Baylor, 7 is Shaq. Name me 3 of the next 5. Because 2 of them you can get. The other 3 you're not.
Paul Gasol?
No. You get 10 guesses.
Derek Fisher.
No.
Robert Horry.
No.
It's no one on those teams, I'm guessing.
No one from the
Shaq
2000s.
and Kobe days.
So before I started watching,
Basketball.
is it Worthy?
Worthy's one.
Yeah.
They're from the Magic teams, I'm assuming. The Magic Johnson teams.
Right? Yeah, 2 of them are.
So I got Worthy. That's one of them. What, 2 more you said? Or 3 more?
You have to get 2 more of the 5. There's 4 more.
There's
You have
5.
to get 2 of them. You got 6 guesses to do so.
Do you want to throw?
I got nothing. My basketball history right now, I can't name names. You kidding me? That's my worst thing ever.
The name that's coming to mind, I know it's wrong. Kurt Rambis.
No.
I don't even know. Like that's
How old?
before.
Give us a decade.
That's before I was.
2 of them are 80s.
Okay.
One of them
before I
70s,
was
80s.
born. Before I was born.
Yeah, but you know, I know you know one of them. You might not know him for playing. You definitely know one of them because he's one of the best players
Name
of all
the
time.
ones you named again, just so I don't like.
Kobe, Jerry West, Kareem, Magic, Mikan, Baylor, Shaq.
Wilt. Okay. So I got Wilt and Worthy.
You have 4 more chances
to get 3.
to get 1.
No, you only
to
get
get
more.
one?
Yeah, you
I
got
said
4
3 of
chances to
5.
one.
Okay, so I got Wilt and Worthy.
You're not going to get one of them. I know that.
So I'm not going to get the last.
I'm not going to throw them out. No, you have 2 other guys, and you have 4 guesses. He was the guy that you're not going to get was a Hall of Famer, 6-time All-Star, 4-time NBA champ, but I don't think you're going to get him. We never talk about him, and he never had a season over 20 points.
4-time NBA champ. So he was.
Both guys have higher win shares than Wilt Chamberlain, which is so weird. And that's
are they from the Magic Johnson teams?
They play. One of them played for the Lakers from 83 to 92. The other one played from 85 to 92.
Why is it that the only thing that I can think of right now is James? Like, all I can think of is James Worthy.
It's not James Worthy.
That's all I can think of. Well, I already said.
Yeah, one of them was a 3-time. I think both of them are 3-time NBA champs.
Is one of them Kupchak?
No.
No. So I got, what, 2 more guesses to get one?
You got 3.
Kareem?
Kareem was already one of them.
What did you say, Kareem? That's the one thing I was like, am I going to say? I don't know. Byron Scott.
Byron Scott.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
The other one, AC Green. And
The Tank Commander.
I know AC Green.
Yeah, AC. Yeah, well, you didn't say anything. You were quiet for the last one, and then the last one was
the
Vern
Tank
Mickelson.
Commander.
I don't know who Vern Mickelson was either. I was like, what the fuck? He never had a thing over 20. But Byron Scott and AC Green have higher win shares than Wilt Chamberlain in his Laker career, which I found shocking. That's why I was going to ask it for you. And Wilt only played 5 seasons, but over those 5 seasons, he averaged 17 points, 19.2 rebounds, and 4.3 assists.
You know who else was on?
Shot 60% from the field.
Was on those Magic Johnson teams. I believe this is
last thing.
McAdoo's father, Bob McAdoo, was on those teams. The McAdoo that. Why am I blanking on his first name? Not Ben McAdoo.
Ben McAdoo, the former coach of the Giants?
No, that's the coach of the Giants. I thought there was a McAdoo in...
Who the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, I'm probably thinking JaVale McGee. Screw it. Whatever. End the podcast show.
All right, cool. Thanks, Ricky, for that. And thanks for Dave for joining on this trivia.
I didn't know we were still recording at this point.
Yeah, it's going to wrap it up.
I was like,
we were going to do a G League.
I did it, though. I did it.
We were going to do a G League thing about the $125 contracts that they were going to start offering, but it's the same old stuff. Guys might go, but then again, you could still get money from Adidas, and you could play for a team and get national recognition. You're not going to get national recognition against the G League, and you're going to get better treatment in college than you are in the G League. The other thing we were going to talk about is the Raptors. They got to win over the Celtics and got to win over the who'd they play in the first game? The Cavs. So they got wins over the Celtics and Cavs. Kawhi has been fantastic. Really looks like he's injured, guys. Don't know why he didn't play in the playoffs for the Spurs.
He didn't want to play for them.
Yeah, and that's why I was upset.
Sarcastic.
Yeah.
And that's
I'm
why
just telling you, we
pissed
know
off
why
at him.
he didn't play, and I'm fine with it.
I'm glad he's back playing basketball. That's all I care
Yeah, they look
about.
good. They look really good.
Sorry about not having 3 topics. We technically had 3 segments of Wet Boys.
Wet Boys went long. Oakley Folkley went real long.
Yeah,
but I think they were both good segments. They were good listens.
30 for Suns, 50 for Oakley Folkley, and then 18 for Wet Boys. So it's a typical podcast, but just weird out layout. And also, we talk about most of the big stories.
We did. I think we had pretty much everything.
And we'll go back to the typical 3-segment shows. We're starting mock drafts and big boards, I think, in November, December.
No, we're not waiting until January.
No, that's what it was last year, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Big boards are in November, and then the drafts are in January.
So there we go. Oh, we'll figure something out. But we will have drafts sometime soon.
Trae Young so early last year.
We will have draft coming up soon. I mean, the college season hasn't even started yet either.
Yeah.
We will have draft stuff coming up soon. That's going to be it. We're going to wrap it up. Don't forget to rate us on iTunes if you're still listening. I saw some of the numbers today for our stuff, and it's absolutely phenomenal. Just want to appreciate you guys. Fantastic numbers, and it's all because you guys keep listening. And if you guys can rate us, we have 36 ratings on iTunes. So if you have the ability to, and you want to help us out, get us more viewers and more ears on this, we'd greatly appreciate it. So check out our iTunes page and give us a rating. But for Dave Oster, for Ricky Widmer, I'm Sean Anderson. We'll see you next time.